partly sunny day here or there or this or that. Anyway, sorry for the dyslexic ramble. Still trying to figure out why I am awake and all of that stuff at this point. K1GMM, K2XAM.
K1GMM. Man, I'm right there with you on the stovetop. That's what we did. We usually throw some sausage and stuff into the stovetop stuffing. I started doing that a few years ago just because it's easier, you know. But, oh, God, I still feel like crap. I don't even know why. Why do we do this to ourselves? I don't know. But for me, it's I don't eat. I eat actually really, really good all year. But Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, those are the 3 kill boxes where I don't behave myself, and I never feel good afterwards. This morning, I actually slept pretty good last night, which is surprising. Yeah, what would I get, 9 hours? Which is unusual for me, dude. Usually I'm getting about 6 hours. So I feel really good, but don't know if you've ever been hit in the face with a block of ice. Talking about snow, everything is like a frozen chunk of concrete here, and I was just outside, and I looked at the antenna, and I went, good Lord. It is coated with ice, the loop. And so, like an idiot, I walked out there, started taking the ice off around the feed point. It's a delta loop, apex down, fed from the bottom apex, you know, so it's all hanging and drooping and loaded up. So I grabbed it and started stripping the ice off. I could reach it, you know, normally I can't reach it, but it's hanging low to the ground. And I don't know why I was doing this, dude, but I was looking up, and it's still dark enough so you can't see hardly anything. And this is about, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. I had a big strip of ice come off the top of the antenna, way up high, the top of the loop. Hit me right between the eyes, dude. Right between the eyes. I had my glasses on. Felt like it cut my forehead just above the bridge of my nose. It must have been a big strip. Just smashed me right between the eyes. Unfortunately, there were a few curse words, and didn't break the glasses. Thought it broke my glasses. That's how hard it hit me. It came off about 60 feet up. So it's, I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about winter. That was my introduction to the winter antenna deals. K2XAM, K1GMM.
K1GMM, K2XAM. Gosh, I'm so sorry. Probably, if you ever end up doing that again, want to have I was going to say those like safety goggles. They actually went over your glasses. We had them in high school. I remember that. I don't know if I have even seen those around at like Home Depot or something. Or I was just thinking, as I was thinking that, or a welding mask, but the one that you would use with oxyacetylene. It's kind of, you know, got this yellowish or greenish tint to it that's still kind of clear rather than the arc welding. It's just giving yourself some protection. But I get it. I mean, I thought about that the last storm we had a week ago, and then again yesterday. Am I going to have to go out and shake the ladder line to try to shake the whole thing? But as it turned out, everything just kind of tuned up this morning, and it's not drifting around. So I'm just going to let well enough alone. I'm on the W1LO Memorial DYY transmitter because I got on 40 yesterday for a little bit. And I've got to take this back to the shop now and run it into a dummy load because it's rock solid right now at 180 watts. But yesterday on 40, I don't know, it could have been the Merch antenna tuner. So I'm using my normal antenna tuner, but the Merch antenna tuner in the bail, and maybe there's something wrong with that Merch tuner, which is always possible as well. So it was just the power was drifting around and it would abruptly change, but then the reflected power and watching it yesterday never really jumped up. But the audio modulation level also changed somewhat as well, which it almost seems like it's doing now. I thought I had that set a little higher. So my idea was to just run the thing into a dummy load, 180, 200 watts, and run it for maybe 10 minutes while staring at a watt meter and just seeing if it does in fact drift around. I guess I'll have to bring the modulation meter too and feed pink noise or white noise, some noise source, into it simultaneously. Anyway, no worries. I hope you didn't get hurt. You probably went and looked in a mirror and ended up discovering that nothing happened, hopefully. K1GMM, K2XAM.
And KC2CKO here.
Bring Paul.
Hey, good morning, Paul. Let me see if I got it quick, and I'll push it over to you, Paul. Okay. Okay. Question, Kevin. When it comes back around to you after Paul, well, I'm assuming that will tell you whether it's a changing resonance type ish situation with the antenna, or it's a instability with the rig, right? Trying to figure out where you're going as far as diagnostics with that. Dummy load, yeah, makes sense to me. That'll if you take the antenna out of the equation, that'll point you in the other direction, right? That's kind of where I'm going. I did. I cut my nose. I was just something felt funny on the bridge of my nose. It actually cut my nose, dude. I can't believe it didn't break the glasses. I'm feeling it right now, and it's scabbing up. So, unfreaking real, man. I'm going to go look in the mirror later on. It's not bleeding right now, but I can feel it. I don't know if it actually cut it or it's just like shaved a little bit of the skin off or something. You know what I mean? I don't think it's not deep. I know if it was deep, it'd be bleeding. It'd be running down my freaking nose. So, no, I got it. Freaking jerk. And you know what I thought of? Immediately, I was like, you idiot. I'm going to grab the hard hat with the face shield because I got more work to do out there. The BKW, the ladder line, the 450 is laying on the ground, so that's all freaking sagging. Can't see the top, couldn't see the top of it because it was too dark, but I looked out the kitchen window and the light from the house, it hangs right about 20 feet from the kitchen window. And yeah, it's laying on the freaking ground, so I got to go out there. And what I may do is just drop it because everything's on pulleys here. I can just drop it down and kind of shake it off as it's lowered way down, maybe 10 feet off the ground, and that's a little bit safer probably. Anyways, Paul, what's going on, man? How'd you make out over there? Everything's a block of concrete here, Paul. It's all frozen up and freaking awful. KC2CKO, K1GMM, good morning.
Yeah, K1GMM, KC2CKO back here. Well, things are going well. Actually, the wife and I went out yesterday afternoon after the snow stopped, and I snow blowed the driveway, and she did some little shoveling around the stairs and stuff. So we got that done. So, and I checked the temperature. It was like 32.5 degrees out there right now. So, but we got about, I would say maybe 6 inches of snow. So it looks nice, winter wonderland. But we both said, well, that's enough. If that's all we get this winter, would be more than happy with that. So, what else? Oh, I made my coffee cakes came out really good. I'm gonna actually give better than half of it away, so I don't put any more weight on here. I got back down to 185 pounds where I wanted, and I think that was because I was laying off the breads, bagels, donuts, and everything else. So I think I'm going to have to keep it that way. After hearing that one gentleman, he said he gave up bagels and lost 50 pounds. So I guess that was a heads up for me here. So I'd like to try to lose maybe another 5 pounds or something, rather. I'll work on that. Smaller portions. Let me see now. Yeah, that's just smaller portions. And yeah, too bad about getting. Oh my goodness, you're really lucky. It didn't shoot your eye out as they went. That one story went there. So dangerous. And I know one time I was working on a car, pulling on a wrench really hard, and it let loose, and the wrench hit me right in the bridge of the nose. And I've got a permanent scar from that Chrysler 300M. So, yep, know how that goes. Back to the group. KC2CKO, over.
C2CKO, K2XAM, good morning. Good morning to you. Similar temperature here. I think it's about 34 here in Syracuse. Now that the sky's brightening up a little bit, it does at least look like it's cloudy, but not a heavy, thick cloud. So they were saying a little bit later on we'd have some sun. So that'll be nice for at least part of the day. And it's supposed to be warm today, if you want to call 40 warm. It's going to be the warmest temperature over, I think they said, the next 5 or 6 days. Not enjoying it. Yes, so this particular DIY rig came from Warren, W1LO. I got it from him at his last Near Fest, and I think he passed about a week and a half. I think it was a week and a half later, which was really sad. And we've had it at the shop, and the antenna at the shop is not good. And so it's blown up a couple of times. It's blown some transistors. I think the last time it was just one transistor, and the previous time before that it was 2 transistors. And Warren also had Steve QIX replace 1 or 2 transistors in it at least once. And so this particular unit's lived kind of a hard life. And I thought it was working correctly, but yesterday on 40, I either have, as you mentioned, an antenna issue, Well, the antenna's fine. It's working on 80 right now, and it works on 160. And it usually in the past, although it's been a long time, has worked fine on 40. And yesterday, it worked fine on 40 as well. However, the watt meter here, same watt meter I use on 160 and 80, would abruptly jump up or jump down, as did modulation. And so it could be that Merch tuner, because the Merch tuners, they're one of my favorites. However, you need to take them apart every once in a while and spray some deoxit on a paper towel and just go up and down the coil and so forth, and around the wheel, make sure the little wheel in there is okay, because they used aluminum wire on those coils, and aluminum creates that black kind of oxidation. It's like it's a moist oxidation. So I found to clean that up, and I'll bet you I haven't used that Merch tuner in 3 or 4 months. So it's very possible that it is the culprit. But before I get too deep into it, the idea was to just take this to the shop, fire it up at a couple 100 watts into a dummy load, let it run for 5 or 10 minutes while staring at watt meter. And then if it's rock solid on 40, as it sort of appears to be right now on 80, then you can say the transmitter's probably okay. And if not, then we can say the transmitter may have an issue, and I will probably just, we have one of those infrared thermometers. I'll probably just, which we did do when we replaced the transistor probably a month ago. We did bring that thermometer out, and everything looked about the same color in the infrared. So we'll see what's going on. No worries, no big issues. There's another one sitting here across the room that's an 8040 and so forth. And gosh, so sorry about your nose. Oh my gosh. It's all for the love of ham radio. we end up doing this because we want to be able to tune up and get on here and talk to the cast of characters. K1GMM, K2XAM in the group,
N2LJO.
There's George. Okay, good morning, George. Hope you had a good day yesterday. Steve, Vermont, K1GMM. Put it over to Paul, and then Paul, you can put it over to George. We'll put him in the loop there. Really quick. Yep, that makes sense. And I got a question for you guys regarding that tuner situation. I have a 989D here, the old MFJ 989D. Thing's pretty old. It's probably 20 years old now or something. Who knows? 15 years old, 20 years old. I don't know. Got it from a friend, paid a couple $100 for it. And that freaking roller inductor in there, yes. You mentioned using a paper towel. I use Deoxit. I swear by that stuff. And it's good for about a week. And then it goes to crap again. It starts getting scratchy and just really weird. It works good, but especially the areas where I'm always tuned to. You know what I mean? I can't seem to get it. I don't know if it's oxidized to the point where it's ruined and I need to replace it. But it doesn't last long, Kevin, when I do that. And I'm curious. I've looked at other tuners. I don't know if they're all the same. I've heard some tuners, God, they never have to clean them. Like what are the old Dentrons or something like that? Anyways, go ahead. Yeah, it's very frustrating because the tuner has always been a good tuner. I've had it since 2016. And, I never pushed more than a kilowatt through it, but it always seems to work. But boy, yeah, that roller inductor is crap now. I can't seem to get it clean or get it reconditioned using Deoxit. I put a paper towel through it, put it on the roller. It lasts about a week, and then it starts going sideways again. K2CKO, K1GMM. And by the way, Paul, yeah, sugar. Sugar sucks. If you want to lose weight, you got to wipe out the sugar, man. Yeah, that's an ugly scene. Go ahead, K1GMM.
Yeah, K1GMM. KC2CKO back. Yeah. I think my thing is just smaller portions and stuff, and the wife has been nagging me forever too. Cut out the bagels. Cut out the bread. So you're probably right as usual. So what else? Well, I'm working on this air compressor motor too. That it's got this little device in it that looks like a boy. I tell you, it's no bigger than your pinky nail, and it's some type of thermal overload or circuit breaker. So that seems to be the culprit, but I can't seem to find one. It's out of a Sears oilless air compressor. So need I say any more? I might just try. I tried running it with the thing out of the circuit, and immediately it's got a thin wire, about a 28 or 30%. Right now, I'm running about 100 watts here, and what am I showing for SWR? Showing almost nil SWR through the good old Heathkit SA 2500 semi-automatic tuner here. And that's what I have to say. Heathkit here, there's no aluminum in the Heathkit tuner, so I still have a little bit of issues with the roller inductor. It gets a little it's spotty sometimes. It jumps around. It's not really. It probably could use a cleaning, but to get at this one, it's a major project to disassemble all the electronics in the tuner. It's motor driven, and it's got a little CPU that for the final solution, as they say here. What else is going on? Not much else. The wife and I think we're gonna have my cup of coffee and stuff, and then I want to head out to Harbor Freight and see what kind of deals they have for today, and then take a ride over and give some of my coffee cake away, so I'm not tempted. So at that, back to the group, but I think maybe did George get it? I have no. I'll throw it up in the air. Somebody take it. AC2CKO. Over.
Gee. Hey, Chris. Good morning. How are you? I get it right over to you. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. Happy Friday off if you would ordinarily be working today. Let's see, listening to the conversation. Well, I have a Nye Viking. I forget the MB something or other. It doesn't have any buttons on the front to take it in or out. I made a little box with a couple of relays and a little remote project box with 2 switches so I could take it in and out of line and switch between the dummy load and the antenna. But it's worked very well for me, but it did get a little crunchy in one spot where up in the window, where, I would be all the time. And then
You too, Mikey. Hey, Paul.
I don't have to be so
Oh, Paul.
SWR, it was like 1
Good heavens.
to 1, so I just leave the tuner out of the line. Sooner or later, I'm going
We'll pray for you, Paul, for recovery.
Take it out and do what you guys.
Wish you all the best with that. I'm sorry to hear that.
And a real big bread slicer you could actually slice bread with. The down here, it's a little higher without the tuner, like 1.5, 1.6. I've been using the tuner down here.
Yeah, Paul.
Up in the window.
I'll tell you what. Shoot me an email with your cell phone, and I'll shoot you a text.
275 watt matchbox. I have it out.
I'll shoot you a text.
All the ladder line guys are going to clutch their pearls.
Or yeah, Paul. Let me do that. I'll do that right now. I'll shoot you an email with my cell phone.
I use coax.
And you can shoot me a text message, and I'll get you. You can put me in. I'll identify myself with my call sign when I shoot you one. All right.
The cap. Actually, one side is split. I'm not sure exactly how, but it's 2 caps in the inductor.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're referring to regarding a scope.
So there's no roller inductor in those.
Not sure, but I think if you explain to me what you want to do, I'll point you in the right direction. Hopefully.
So nice, and it takes more than it lasts at 500 watts, even though it's rated at 275. Because when I tune certain rigs up out there, if I have the tuner in line, I never had a problem, never flashed over or anything. So, Steve, maybe, I don't know if you're using coaxial cable or open wire line, you might want to track down a kilowatt matchbox. Anyway, good morning, Chris. How are you? Hope your Thanksgiving was a good one. AJ1G in the group N2. I'll take it and then give it to Kevin. AJ1G in the group N2LJO.
Yeah, okay, George. N2LJO and the group AJ1G. Tweak up the Dixie 100 here. Yeah, we're doing okay. We had a great Thanksgiving. A nice dinner over at son Ben's place. Got over there about 1 o'clock, and everyone, the tryptophan just kicked in on everybody. Everyone's getting really sleepy. About 6 o'clock, came home, and then had a Zoom call with son Dave and family down in Florida for, I don't know, close to 2 hours, I think. And that was a lot of fun. First time I've really seen the inside of the house live. And they have what they call a big room, and this is like a 5,000 square foot house. This one room, I swear to God, George, when the screen came on, it looked like they were in a diner, and they go into the diners on Fox and Friends in the morning down south. You see this white ceiling with about 5 gigantic ceiling fans spinning away. I mean, I swear to God, they could put. I think the room was like 25 by 35 feet, and it's. I don't know if it's just like a screen porch or something like that. They have screens on it. I know that. I don't know if they have windows that close if they want to air condition. I think it does. But you could probably put a restaurant in there. That's pretty much what they had. They had like 24 people. And I believe most of them had left by the time we had the Zoom call. Just, family and a couple other David's wife's sister-in-law was there, and a couple other people. So that was a great time. We had a really nice call, and looking forward to getting down there fairly soon. It was like 70 degrees. They've had some very nice weather. This cold front that came through, they got nice, almost like fall, as close as you get to fall down there. The weather last night, I think it was like 65, 70 degrees out at night when they were talking to us. And a real nice dinner over at Ben's. Our second grader grandson, Dean, under supervision, made apple pies. They were really good. Kid is smart as a whip, and he's got like a photographic memory. He reads like a crazy. He's reading way above his grade level. He's gonna be the engineer, I think. And anyway, we had a real good time. The food was great. Rained like hell. I didn't go to the Westerly Stonington. Ben and granddaughter Elise went. They only stayed for the first half. They were totally drenched. But did clear off and had a good night. Getting cold. I got obviously not going to have the shed done before next couple of days is going to get really cold. So I have to take the things that are going to go into that shed I'm building. I got to drag them into the garage, at least for the short term here, and that's the priority for today. It's getting down to about 25 tonight, and the next couple of nights maybe even colder. Just talking to Tim up on 85, and they got a foot of heavy wet snow up there, and he's actually he's not on commercial power. I guess they had a big power outage up there because of all the snow. All right, get it over to Kevin, and how was your Thanksgiving? I'm sure George, you and Kathy had a good one. AJ1G over to K2XAM, and good morning to Paul as well.
Good morning there, Chris. AJ1G, K2XAM in the group. Wondering who won the game. I never did get around to listening to it because I think I actually worked you on 40. You and George both were in there with me for a little bit, along with Steve. And I don't think I've ever worked Charlie and or Rob. Charlie N1 and XZW and Rob W1WOR. I don't think I've worked either of them guys before. So it was good to meet them on the radio and so forth. And pretty good day here yesterday. So a couple comments. Let's see. I'm trying to remember all of this, but flour. I think white flour turns into sugar as part of your digestive process. So, I always have the theory, avoid dairy, gluten, and sugar as much as you possibly can, and if possible, completely at all for a period of time, whether it be 10 days or a month or whatever you can do. Dairy, gluten, and sugar, avoid that, and you'll end up dropping some weight. Of course, that means there's nothing left to eat at that point. And of course, you want to avoid any food that comes out of a factory and try to keep it down to, fruits, vegetables, grass-fed beef, organic type stuff, et cetera, if you're trying to drop weight. The food that's manufactured, that comes out of a factory, it's all engineered so you can't eat just one of whatever it is that you're eating. And they joke in one of the videos about, go and eat 30 pounds of broccoli and see if you can, and it's like you can't because you're going to be sick of it after 5 seconds. But, any fruits and vegetables, low glycemic fruits, are the way to go. And as far as the antenna tuners go, part of the reason the Dentron's not an issue is because it's not a roller inductor, it's just a tapped inductor. And I've had several Dentron tuners, and I still have a couple. I have a couple of the small super tuners. One's here, and the other one's at the shop. Problem with those is, and the DIY rig, is you can never get a deep enough null on the reflected power to make the DIY happy. So that's part of the reason why I was interested in the Merch tuners. That, and they were made in Maine, and I lived in Maine for a while, albeit not the same town or same area. But And as far as the possible pitting and or something on the, something going on the roller inductor, Palstar has some grease packets that works on their tuners, and I think they actually are using a tinned copper wire, although I don't know that for sure. We have a couple of the Palstar roller inductors at the shop, and when I bought those, I asked them to get me a couple of additional packets of this grease. However, I've never been able to find those packets of grease. They're somewhere at the shop, and I need to maybe go on a search for those again. But I'm not really sure what's going on with the MFJ tuner, of why you would clean it and within a very short time, a week, it would end up being not happy again. Anyway, I think I need to turn it to George. Is that true? And good morning, George and Gracie. N2LJO K2XAM.
It comes to me. Okay, let me grab it quick. Punch it again, make sure I'm not doubling. Okay. Kevin. Well, thanks for commenting on the because that's a tuner I was going to mention. Let's see. The sugar thing. Being a type 2, I know a lot about that crap. White breads, even most wheat breads, 12 grains are, they're comped with fiber. So you may have, let's say, a slice of 12 grain bread, you may have, let's say, 18 grams of sugar. This is just, I don't know. I can't remember. I'd have to look at the back because my wife uses 12 grain bread. Let's say it's got 18 grams of carbs. Well, there may be like 13 grams of fiber in there. So if you do net carbs, that's 5 net carbs. Carbs are sugars. Those are sugars. Yes, Kevin. Dairy. Interesting thing about dairy is if you drink coffee, if you're a type 2, you drink coffee, and you put, let's say you think you want to, it's the whole less fat thing is better, which isn't true. Here's an example. Of course, dairy is lactose, right? It's a form of sugar. And if you look at half and half, or 2%, let's say 2%. So you drink 2%, think you're doing yourself a favor. You're actually injecting more sugar than drinking heavy whipping cream, because what they do is they strip out the protein out of that heavy whipping cream to create the 2%. They strip out the fat, and it's the same amount of sugar, but you're getting less protein. So you're actually doing yourself a disservice by drinking 2%. The sugar, the ratio of fat, protein to sugar is much higher on 2%. So it's more sugar. Technically, it's not any more sugar, but you see where I'm going? Let's see, white breads, pasta, white rice, anything like that is metabolized in a matter of just a few minutes into pure sugar, and it hits your bloodstream. I believe it's around 20 minutes. That's all bad. That's bad. So yeah, if you do a little research, man, you'll come up with some stuff. And I eat good. I eat really good. I'm on pretty much full-blown keto. I eat really, really good, and I eat a lot of food. And if you saw me, you'd be like, holy crap, the guy's a walking skeleton. But that has a lot to do with what I went through about 4 years ago. But yeah, the sugar. There's all this stuff that's converted into sugar. You mentioned the fruits, Kevin. Blueberries, excellent. Good on the glycemic index. Great antioxidant properties. Strawberries. I think some raspberries, stuff like that. Bananas, no. Like melon, muskmelon, apples. Very high on the glycemic index. So that's pure sugar. You might as well take a freaking syringe and jam it into your arm and just pump sugar water into yourself. Anyways, go ahead, Paul. K1GMM. Can on key here.
KC2CKO. Yes. I'm going to have to be more conscious of my intake and stuff. And the wife and I, we like our coffee in the morning, and it's always with half and half. But I do put about 2 teaspoons of sugar in. About 6 seconds of a pour from a little sugar shaker there. So yes, maybe I have to cut back on that too. Instead of 6 seconds of sugar, give it cut it in half, 3 seconds worth, and just cut back and stuff, and see how that affects my weight if it starts going down some more after a few weeks here. What time is it? 7:26.
Say hello quick, Rattle Trap. I don't know anything about what's going on with Apache Labs. Unfortunately, I'm completely out of the loop. Douglas, how you doing, Doug? Jeez, you're doing well. Happy belated Thanksgiving, and welcome to the Black Friday. I'm wondering if you got anything in the shopping cart as a Christmas present for yourself. I do. Well, I have an e-coder coming for the son. Picked up a used. You got a great price on an e-coder. I've always wanted one. I found one here stateside, so that's going to kind of change the game with that and bring it into the Anan realm with a MIDI controller. That's cool. Paul, good morning. Good afternoon, actually. And JPX, hey, what's going on there, Captain? Good morning.
And at that, back to the group. KC2CKO. Over.
I believe.
Well, mine is, I bought used Rattle Trap, and I would just send it to Doug down in Arkansas. I wouldn't even deal with Apache Labs.
LJO. Well, had an interesting year. Was a year ago today that I came down with COVID. A year ago tomorrow that I quit smoking as a result, and have not gone back to it. And when I quit smoking, I wound up quitting drinking. I used to have 2-3 glasses of red wine every day before dinner, before and during dinner, and just totally lost the taste for it. I used to think it was the drinking that made me want to smoke. It was the smoking that made me want to drink, and I don't miss it. And that was a lot of empty calories, and that got me started on weight loss. I was probably about 15 pounds by February, all sugar. In February, I was in bed almost the entire month with the flu, and I think I ate all month what I would eat in a day, and I lost about 15, 20 pounds. And then I decided, after I saw what I looked like after the flu, I said, I'm going to keep this going. And I just made a big lifestyle change, and Steve cut out or drastically cut down on a lot of those carbs, the white rice, the Chinese fried rice, boy. Chinese pork fried rice with extra onion and scallion and egg in it. Well done. I could eat a whole quart of that.
Yep.
But, and pasta, instead of once a week, it's like once a month. And instead of a half a pound, I have a quarter of a pound. And,
I did.
And so many other things. And I've been...
Don't really feel good.
For a while,
I feel great this morning, but I got a funny story I'll reiterate to you guys. I don't think you know it. That just happened about, I don't know, an hour ago.
This time,
yeah, that's the way I feel too, Elmer. I felt like crap last night.
Look pretty good in clothes now.
I don't eat like that except for about 3 times a year, and it sucks every time.
To the way I was, even though I love all that stuff you're talking about there, Steve. You're rattling it off, and I'm getting hungry. A big plate of linguine with clam sauce with some shrimp on the side, or like I said, the Chinese fried rice, or lo mein, or my fun. How special my fun. Baked potato, all that stuff. I try to stay away from, but. I'm doing it, and I'm going to the gym every other day, and I'm watching the scale, and so far so good. And I highly recommend it. Anyway, over to you, Chris, AJ1G, and the group, and 2LJO.
And 2-0 and a group age. Yeah, I remember having discussions with my doctor about triglycerides, and sugar. And yeah, the fact that it's carbs get turned into sugar. It's amazing, and that's what affects me. I always thought that triglycerides were fat. Oh, it's it's the carbs that will get your triglycerides. I've been trying to stay away from all that. Yeah, one of the things for a while I was doing is I was using maple syrup in my coffee rather than sugar, and I looked at like a tablespoon of sugar, what the added, they have in a nutrition label, they have like added sugars, like sugar you really don't need. And it was like that 1 tablespoon was about maybe 30% of daily allowance of added sugars or something like that. So I've been avoiding that lately. I do use a 2%. Maybe I've fallen into a trap there, but I don't use a lot. And I haven't been using any sugar at all in the coffee, at least at home. I do confess that when I go to Dunkin' Donuts, I'll have a flavored coffee, and it's not the zero carb ones or the 0 calorie ones either. So that's something I got to work out. But I am, at home here, I very rarely put anything other than I've been using like Trader Joe's pumpkin pie spice. It makes nice pumpkin type coffee, and there's nothing. It's just all spices, so it doesn't seem to bother do anything bad as far as I can tell. Or I'm just drinking the coffee with just a little bit of 2% in it. So I got to cut the carbs down. Although yesterday was a bad day between pecan pie and some apple pie and daughter-in-law's pumpkin pie. And broccoli, cheese, and something else, and breadcrumbs, I guess. And what else did we have? Really good dressing, stuffing, a really nice turkey. And, my son carved. He made medallions, right? Making slices, he made medallions. That was an interesting way of cutting the turkey, and it came out quite nice. So it was a good day, and really enjoyed it. And we got a whole. Diane made 2 whole pies, and we actually had kept the one in reserve in the car in case it wasn't going to be enough. And it's a 10-incher too, but we'll have to eat that one slowly, I guess. But it was a good day, and watch a little football. Watch the Bears throw away they had a chance there at the end. I don't know if anyone watched that, but they had a chance of making a field goal and going into overtime, and they tried to pass, which was totally smothered, and they ran out of time, and that was the ball game. They would have tied it on a field goal, and they were definitely in range, and they didn't do it. And that's all the buzz on sports. Why didn't they go for the field goal? Oh, well, I don't know how the Giants caved. I didn't watch. Started watching that, and then everyone started falling asleep. I don't know how the Giants did. And I was saying, my son Ben's a Jets fan. How are the Jets doing? I haven't been following football at all, and he says, it can't be as bad as the Patriots. He said, apparently they're even worse now. I don't know. That's hard to believe.
Boy, the band is really screwy. There's some heavy fading in here right now.
That's for sure. So, I watched Tom Brady on the air. That was kind of interesting, seeing him
Chris is down
with a mic in his hand rather than a football. But that was all good.
This guy's down
I guess we lost, what's his name there, from
Connecticut.
The turducken guy.
Rhode Island border, and he's...
Football guys just passed away there. Madden.
It's getting squirrely about that time. 7:30. Band's going to really start tightening up here.
They're mentioning that on the.
And you can see the noise floor dropping on the spectrum.
All along there. Oh well, anyhow, I'm going to sign out of here. Get some breakfast. Probably be a piece of pecan pie rather than cereal, but I won't have a big one. And I got to start. Moving plants into the garage here. Well, I got most of the room cleared out. I just have to make it happen. Anyhow, everyone have a good day. I was turning it over to Kevin.
Oh, it's freaking disgusting,
Elmer. I assume you're not working today, and I did send you. I don't know if you checked your email. I sent it to your Armstrong account. Maybe I don't know if you can get that at home or not, but it also has links. I did an air check of WBLQ before they started the game coverage. They still have music on, and saying
I'm gonna probably sign out.
Long clip of that.
And
I listened to it. I basically it was just my phone in the shack here off the big Fisher Studio Standards. It sounded pretty good. Yeah, but they transmit full 10 kilohertz audio, and then sent you a picture.
Turn this down a little bit.
Video shows. I did a remote SDR, no, my own SDR video on my own SDR spectral and waterfall of their signal.
Oh gosh, 50 would be beautiful. Still a little cool for me. I actually like it warm. I'm kind of a warm weather guy now. I like summer.
My in-shack,
yeah, I'm going to sign out in a second, and then I got a great story for you regarding the weather. Happened to me this morning. I don't know if you guys heard it. I think you jumped in long after I talked about it with Kevin. Pretty funny. Actually, it's not, but...
There was a time limit on it, so if it's...
Oh, let me tell you what happened, Elmer, before you run. Well, I'll tell you about it some other time. I guess you're going, Elmer. Take care.
However, I was so bored here yesterday that I will end up going in at least for a couple hours. And I think they told me that there weren't going to be enough people around to play pickleball. And I'm like, well, I could be here. And nothing going on. And so I probably will go to the shop for at least a couple hours and check email. And I can get email on my phone, but I usually don't check it because a couple summers ago I was checking my email when I'd wake up in the middle of the night, and I missed a couple orders because I forgot that I had seen them in the middle of the night. So I just got out of the habit of checking email on the phone. And so forth. Let's see. There was a couple other comments I was going to make. Oh, yeah. Steve, you're exactly right about the low-fat stuff. So, again, that was more misinformation that was put out by the government in the early 70s. And you remember, in the 70s, they came out with all this low-fat everything, low-fat yogurt, low-fat this, low-fat milk, low-fat that.
High-carb, low-fat.
And it's not good for you because your brain, your body needs a certain amount of a good quality fat.
Okay.
And so
let me, because he's going to toss it to me. So
a little scoop.
Yeah, I was outside.
Is coconut oil is a good.
I was outside trying. The antennas are all coated with ice. They're a freaking mess. They're all hanging. The 450 is hanging on the ground on the BKW. It's laying on the ground. I mean, everything's a mess here. It's like all frozen concrete, and it's heavy. It's all on the antennas.
To feed your brain.
My audio's cracking. Oh, I don't know whose audio you're talking about. You're probably talking about Kevin.
For you,
So
being good for you, but it's actually bad.
So I was outside and I was trying to knock the ice off the antenna. A freaking strip of ice came off the top of the top wire on the loop and hit me right between the eyes. It was about 60 feet up. Didn't see it coming. It was dark out, and can't believe it didn't break my glasses. And it felt like it cut the bridge of my nose. And sure enough, it did. I was sitting here after I came in and got in with these guys, and I got a cut. I can feel it on the bridge of my nose. So it actually cut my nose. Didn't see stars, but I'll tell you what, it hit hard enough to actually cut me. So when I go out later to see if I can get the ice off, I'm going to wear a hard hat with a face shield that I use for chainsawing and weed whacking. Holy crap. Brand new pair of glasses, almost knocked them off my face. Hit right above where the frame goes. It went all in behind my glasses into my eyes. Holy freaking crap, dude. So yeah, you guys are out there playing that game, trying to get ice off the antennas. Cover your face, put something on there, because you will get cut.
One of the main play-by-play announcers and so forth. Let's see. I think Paul signed. And I think I was supposed to turn it over then to Steve. Am I right? K1GMM, K2XAM in the group.
Hey, thanks, Kevin. And this will be my last go as well. I'll leave you guys with it. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Lies, 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 baby. They're always lying to us. Of course, that was decades ago, right? What is it? High carb, low fat? Gee, I wonder why like 85% of the American population is pre-diabetic. Certainly not because... I don't know. Whatever, dude. Yeah. Or I should say pre-diabetic insulin resistant. Building insulin resistance. So we will catch you guys later. I did live stream the bulk of this right when you jumped in, Kevin. And somebody said, Elmer, W5SLG, he says, man, that audio is cracking. And he was referring to you, Kevin. You always have such nice audio. Everybody sounds great, but Kevin, man. And you're always really strong in here. It's like you're running a kilowatt carrier. Freaking antenna you got. Don't ever mess with that, dude. Because like I know where you are, and that's always a weird path for me. It's hit and miss. If I was half as strong as you are, I'd be very happy. Anyways, who cares? Paul signed, I think. So it goes to Chris. Have a great day, you guys, and we'll catch you hopefully tomorrow morning. AJ1G, K1GMM.
Yeah, I'm supposed to get it, but go ahead, Chris, if you want.
Oh, sorry, George. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, no problem. 7-3 to you. I didn't realize Paul signed 7-3 to Paul, and enjoy what's left of the day. And Dave Sims never. Yes, I have heard the name over the years. I couldn't have told you what team he announced for. I don't recall him ever being with the Yankees, so if he did baseball, it must have been with the Mets.
Oh, cool.
I'm not sure.
Cool, Elmer.
An upgrade. They had these
That's crazy, isn't it? I swear to God.
After Sterling retired, and I didn't really.
I swear to God, Elmer, you got to be so careful. Such stupid things, right? That's why they call them accidents. They're unforeseen. You don't see it coming. Just freaking crazy, the stuff that happens. You wouldn't think dealing with antennas, you should be wearing a freaking... I mean, hard hats are normally associated with climbing towers, working around towers, stuff like that. But I've had a freaking branch come down, dude. Pulling out a piece of paracord that was stuck, a knot was stuck in a branch in one of the poplars, and those branches are very brittle, and they're heavy. The big ones, I've had a freaking branch come off, and I had to run for my life, man. It would have freaking smashed me flat as a pancake. Didn't weigh that much, but you're talking about a 50-pound branch coming down from 100 feet. Yeah, dude, it's gonna do some damage. So yeah, I've had to take off running before. Get the frick out of the way. Yeah, exactly. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah. And Paul, we'll see you later. All right, I'm going to close down. You guys have a good. I'll be back. I gotta share some things regarding the 204 HD. Do a formal announcement with that, and I'm going to review a device that I started using with the dynamic microphones. Holy freaking crap! Can't believe I waited that long to do this. So we will see. All right. I'll be back later today. I got nothing. I'm not doing anything today except playing radio, and I have to do some catch up on some stuff. 7-3 guys, we'll catch you later.